Hello everybody, welcome. Thomas, you told me that you're studying trends and technological development. What are the themes that are for the humanity relevant in the future?
Mm-hmm. The most important topic is that there will be a huge technological development.
Mm-hmm.
We are talking about another industrial revolution. There was the first revolution, the industrial revolution, where there was invented electrical power, electricity, and before the steam power. And then we were talking about the computer age, when this was introduced in the world. This was another technological revolution. And then there came internet, which created another revolution. It changed a lot of behaviors of the people and jobs and work, and created new businesses. And now there is coming more technological development in the area of, for example, self-driving cars.
Mm-hmm. Which already exists.
You can go on YouTube and look for self-driving cars by Google. They developed this car and they are running already in the normal traffic, which means they don't need any roads, especially for them, or they don't need signs on the side. Nothing needs to be changed on the road. They just start to drive in the regular traffic. So that's already running. And
but how does it work? I mean, it's crazy.
How does it work? It was possible because of the development, of course, from the computer science side, and the development of internet, which allows the developers and the scientists now to collect information from all around the world through internet and feed these computers with informations and parameters, and from there create behaviors of this software, create so-called artificial intelligence. For example, for these cars, they put, I'm sure most of you saw these Google Street View cars already in the street. So the last few years they drove around in the world and they registered millions of assets and moving and not moving pieces on the road, and they analyzed how do they look like, how do they behave, are they fast, are they not fast, if they walk in this direction, do they usually go in this direction or in that direction. And from this they created this artificial intelligence for this Google car, which is in fact the same like our brain is working, you know. We see a cat walking on the left, and then we think, okay, now I have to be careful if this cat is not turning all of a sudden to the right and crossing my car. So the computer can do the same. And on this car is this radar system and HD cameras in 360. And it's much faster actually than our eye. And also the sound is recorded and so on, and then this is fed into this situation, which is recorded by this radar system, is fed into this artificial intelligence in the car, and then it behaves the way it should.
Okay. So that is something what is coming up, the more cars, self-driving cars?
Self-driving cars will come up, yes, and there will come self-driving trucks, huge 40-ton trucks, the same. They don't need new roads. That's very important, because to build new infrastructure would be too difficult. They don't need anything new. All they need is they don't even need the satellite navigation, because they recorded everything already, and they know where they are. And so the whole logistics and traffic business will totally change.
Yeah, and a lot of people will lose their jobs, of course.
a lot of people will have to transform their jobs into other jobs.
We will talk about this later.
Yes.
But let us see. Okay, so that's coming up. What else?
And this is just the traffic, and it will happen in every aspect of our lives. For example, there are already kitchens which cook by themselves.
I never heard about that.
You can also
I
put
would
it
love
in
it.
YouTube. Yeah, right. So that's very nice. It's a rack with 2 arms, robot arms. Okay, and you put in what you want in your iPad, which menu you want to cook, and of course it will be delivered automatically from the supplier, the supplements you need. And then these robot arms, they know exactly where the salt is and so on, and they take the spoon and they cook and they put everything together. They can do this. Also because of artificial intelligence. So that's, for the people who don't like to cook, is very nice.
Yeah, but for the restaurants, that means again that people will lose their job.
Yes, that's right. Maybe in the kitchen, in the restaurant, they will be replaced by things like this. So that's a big change that will come, and in construction industry, if you go into 3D printing, which means they can print out whole, whatever, a car or clothes or shoes, without the need to have different machines. Only one machine, the 3D printer, which is capable of printing like in over 100 materials, cloth, leather, metal, wood. They can print everything, and they assemble everything in one single workflow.
Yes.
So this means they can print a guitar which is sounding, which is working. They can print...
It's unbelievable.
It's unbelievable. It's coming. They even print full houses, even with the interior in the house, they print it. This means that you don't need to move your furniture anymore. It will be built already. So IKEA will maybe have a huge change also of their business, and so that's possible. And if you go, so that's manufacturing. This will change, and of course this manufacturing, the 3D printing, will change logistics again, because then you can start to do the production again local and provide the raw material for the printing by the trucks, by the self-driving trucks. And so when you then go into tourist industry, hotel industry, you already have this totally automated hotels. We even have one in Basel. You don't have a concierge or anything. You can book the room, and it's not so bad. Why should I talk to a guy? I don't care. If everything is fine, I can book. That's it. And if I have a question, I can talk to the artificial intelligence. I can talk, and I don't see or hear or feel a difference from the answers and the informations I get. So people would maybe think, oh, but then I don't have contact to any more other people. But that's not true. Maybe then in the future we will be able to check in 4 people of us into this nice hotel, and one of them is the concierge before. You know, so we can still, of course, we can still be social, even more social than we are now. We just eliminate the jobs which we don't like. If we have jobs that we still like, we can of course choose, hopefully, that we can still do it.
So there are many changes that will come up in the future.
Yes.
When will the future be reality? Are we talking about 50 years, or are we talking about 5 years? What do you think?
A few weeks ago, I was at how do you say that? At one day of trend research at the Gottlieb Duttweiler Institute here in Switzerland at the Lake of Zurich. So for all of you, Gottlieb Duttweiler is the founder of the biggest grocery store in Switzerland, and he started this business out of a humanistic thought. I think, yes, more or less.
That's right. I think
He's very humanistic. He was, and so this research center, Gottlieb Duttweiler Institute, they do trend research. So there was this day about the future of work. You can actually look up the whole day, like 9 hours of HD live streaming, Gottlieb Duttweiler, the future of work. And there were high, how would you say that? So people that really are into research from Silicon Valley and from for example the ex-work minister from USA was there, and some people that also talk on the WEF, the World Economic Forum, and the topic was the future of work. And of course we did look at all this technological development that is coming, and of course there was the question, how long will it take? And they said, and I think it's the same, I think it's true, if you look at the development of the mobile phone, how fast it came. At first, there was a big mobile phone, and then 5 years later there were some very expensive smaller mobile phones, but not many people could afford it. And then all of a sudden, maybe 5 years ago, the whole world got a smartphone.
that's right.
And now you even get a smartphone for like $80 or whatever, very cheap, which can almost do the same like the iPhone. iPhone, they just do a good marketing. So one thing is that they also said everything will be free, more or less. Software is free. We just said this clock we have here. 10 years ago we would have paid $1,000 to get this clock here, and now we get it from free from internet. Everybody gets for free the music.
That's right. Yeah.
So most of it will be free, and it will come very fast. Like the smartphones we have now, billions all over the world within a few years. So they say between 5 and 10 years we will have the same development like we had with the smartphones. So we got.
So that means in 5 to 10 years there will be trucks, self-driving trucks, 3D printer which are building houses, for example, or cars.
Yes.
Okay.
Maybe maybe in 40% of the world, maybe not in all over the world, but in the industrialized worlds, it will happen. For sure, it will happen. It will happen like it happened with the smartphones, because you don't like to cook.
That's right.
As soon as you can get this robot for $5,000 you will probably get it if it's really working, and it will work. It will work for sure. So there is also a real demand, okay? And so the development will happen. The first who starts to promote this, he will sell, and there will be a demand, and then of course there will be a demand for the production of these robots. There will be a demand of change. The question is then, who will produce these robots for the kitchen, for example? Can the employees which are not needed anymore in the banks or in the insurances or in the trucks, can they really produce the robots for the kitchen?
I don't think so.
I don't think so, because they need different skills probably, and also maybe the robots are 3D printed, so we need a few engineers, a few 100,000 engineers and programmers, and yes.
And a lot of people will lose their jobs. I mean, that's,
they will have a
frightening.
big change. They will have a big change, and it will be a very good change. if our politics really look into this change and if they start to open also their mind to really look at the development. I know that they are consulted by trend researcher, of course, the politicians, and they tell them, look, this will happen, this will happen, this will happen. We need to adjust our system now.
What should they do?
So in Switzerland, we will have, and we will vote about this basic income, which is
basic income for everybody.
Unconditional basic income, which means you don't need to be like sick or lose your job or whatever to get like $2,500 or Swiss franc per month. You just get it so you can be safe, you can have the basic things you need for your life, you can have from this. You will get this from the community, from the government. That's the so-called unconditional basic income.
Also, without do any work. Without
working, you just get it.
You get,
Like when we were a baby, we did not have to work, we just got it.
Yeah, that's right.
And nobody was yelling at us, hey, you are lazy.
Yeah.
No, okay? Yeah. But we were happy if the baby created something. Then we are happy. And we did not say, oh, no, you cannot create, it's better when you sleep. Okay, sometimes we would love that the baby sleeps a little bit more. This movement is nothing new. They have been talking about this for 100 years. In Germany, I think they started. And the unconditional basic income is a worldwide movement, and it's 30 years of movement. Also at this day at the GDI Institute, there was one of the researchers about the unconditional basic income. He does it for 30 years, and it's not something like theory. There are communities all over the world where they get this basic income already, and where the social researchers, they research how does the human behave if they get money for
and how
nothing.
Is it?
And they said the researchers show that they don't get lazy, the people, they get creative, they have more ideas, of course there's more joy. And you could fear, for example, that there would be that the prices would go up because there would be more money with the people, and then the businessmen would raise the prices for the products. They said this happened at the beginning, but then after a few months it went down again because you don't need to be greedy anymore. You don't need to think about profit all the time, because you get your basic flow, basic flow of energy in forms of money. And this changes a lot, and so people were more happy, of course, they were healthier, they were more creative, new ideas, new businesses created, the families were more happy. Yes.
I mean, that reminds me on your business of the future. You wrote it down in 2011 on your Facebook account. So tell us something about your business model of the future.
Yeah, that's right. Did I call it the business model of the future? Yes, right. So you can look it up at THS Science, Words and Life on Facebook. It was in 2011 in Bangkok. I could not sleep at night because I was moved, and I did see that we need to create a new wording, a new spirit, a new thinking about business. So the new business model of the future first talks about the word business. What does it mean, business? Does it mean that I need to make profit? Or do we just look at the word and say, okay, business means I am busy. Okay? So I am busy. So maybe you are a housewife and you have a lot to do at home, and you like to do this because you like it clean and so on, to take care for your family. Then you have a big, joyful business. That's it. That's business. And so that's the definition. Of course, we should then think about what is a real business. And then I wrote down some basics. For example, that the business should not trap or manipulate my neighbors, my next human beings. Then it's a real business. So I can do my business by myself. I can play my drum or my music, and that's my business. And if I get an audience or some other people playing with me, that's a business. But if I try to pull the audience in and manipulate them, which is done in the music industry, for example, or in the marketing, sex sells and beats sell and so on, and disco and drugs. If I don't try to manipulate, then I can have my business. I touch people, but I don't catch them. How is the English expression for this? Customer binding, I think. Yeah. Something like this. So customer binding is not nice. It's not freedom. It's not open spirit. So discussion about this, and then description about what is a product then. And how can this work in a team? What basic qualities does each team member need in order to work in this team of the business model of the future, which is totally free? Which means, for example, if I ask you to do something, and I write, Susanne, can you please do this photo shoot till tomorrow morning? And I write, tomorrow morning is deadline.
Yeah.
So deadline, why should I communicate deadline? I can just write, oh, it would be very nice if I had it tomorrow morning, and that's it. And if I don't have it tomorrow morning, then I am confident that you are in the right position in your...
do it.
Right, in your business, which you are really good, and you will do it as soon as possible. So I don't need to be stressed, because I trust you.
That sounds good. I mean, I would love to work like this.
I think you're also an artist, and I think that the principle of artists, they are very similar to this.
Yeah.
And first of all, if you want to create great art or whatever, whenever you want to create something big, you need joy. And you need to be able to put people together which have the same joy. And then, that's another thing I write a little bit about. Then you create real discipline. Discipline, which means I don't have the director of the art piece or of the orchestra telling me you need to practice, and of course you need to bring the people together. But if you have a motivated people, you don't. Everybody will practice by himself. They will show up when you tell them we want to practice, and that time they will show up.
Yeah, because everybody loves to do what he's doing.
Yes, that's right. Okay. So they will show up, and that's not only in art. We as artists, we know this feeling.
You're right. Yeah.
But it's also in everywhere.
But I think the people that are not artists, they have to learn that. Can you help them?
Yes. It needs training and needs consulting, and this is of course what I love to do, and which is probably my business.
Yeah.
And which really keeps me busy 24 hours a day, and it doesn't give me the feeling that I work. Okay?
Because you love it.
Right. Because I think that's very important in these times. Now we did talk about the changes which will come, and it's very important to incorporate these principles of creativity from art, and yes, also to study the creation, the real rules in our creation. How does life really work?
Because it will come up because the people will lose their job. So
they will lose their job. They will have to change.
And it's time now to change.
If you change
They
now,
have to
you have
start
5 to
now.
10 years and you have easy, no problem.
Okay.
Right. If you don't start now, you need to start studying. I hope you feel the joy for it to study. Otherwise, no one can tell you to study. You know that. And yes, if you start now, then it will be easy and it will be a nice development for all of us. Yes.
Okay. Okay, good. That sounds good. So we have to start now. Thank you very much, Thomas Schauffert. It was very interesting. Thank you. Hope to see you soon. Thanks. Bye.
Bye bye.